What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Liao with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's business leaders are calling on state-owned power company Taipower to provide a better service in the face of a 15% price hike. The hike is only targeting heavy users, but they're already dealing with inflation and demand issues and say the rise will mean an increase in manufacturing costs. Eric Gao reports.
Taiwan's state-owned power company is raising its electricity prices for the first time in 4 years, hitting industrial users but sparing small businesses and households. Taipower's decision comes as global energy prices soar due to disruptions caused by the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the COVID-19 pandemic.
最近这1年多来，这个各国调涨电价状况大概有13% 到45% 之间。那我们基本上也考量到台湾在国际上的竞争。那这一次的那个调涨最高的部分是高压跟特高压的部分是以15%。
Some 22,000 industrial users will be affected, including semiconductor manufacturers, cement and paper producers, and steel plants. Business leaders are calling on Taipower to first provide better services. There have been several major blackouts across the country since last year.
台电必须提出它的供电稳定，你不要只有说你钱不够的时候要提高电费，但是你稳定度不够的时候，你跳电的时候造成的损失，你的赔偿老百姓是无感，甚至会痛骂的。
One of the top users of electricity is Taiwan's mass transport systems, and there are concerns that fares may be raised to offset costs. But Taipower has said it would maintain its current 5% discount for these services and that its new tariff should not have a direct impact on consumer prices. For now, other businesses like department stores, gyms, and cinemas will be exempt from the price hikes, which will take effect on July 1st. Chris Ma and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has announced emergency use authorization for the Moderna vaccine for children aged 6 months to 5 years. Booster shots for 5 to 11-year-olds have also been approved. The Centers for Disease Control is recommending that young children get vaccinated to reduce the risk of severe illness or death. Several children in Taiwan have suffered severe complications after getting COVID. These include encephalitis or swelling of the brain and MIS-C, a post-COVID syndrome that causes inflammation in different parts of the body. Taiwan's Air Force has its first female general after the latest round of semi-annual promotions in the armed forces. Speaking during a ceremony at the Ministry of National Defense that saw the promotion of 2 senior military personnel, President Tsai Ing-wen called on the newly promoted generals to show the world Taiwan's determination to defend itself. New Air Force General Xiao Ren-jin was one of 2 women promoted at the ceremony, bringing the total number of female generals currently serving in the armed forces to a record-setting 4.
专业跟能力是无关于性别，应该是取决于我们投入的努力的这个程度。
Taiwan says it's looking forward to cooperating with the Group of 7 nations on a new development fund seen as an answer to China's Belt and Road Initiative. The Foreign Ministry says it wants to help the G7 raise $600 billion over 5 years for infrastructure projects in developing countries. The Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment was launched by the group of the world's wealthiest democratic nations during their summit in Germany this week. U.S. President Joe Biden says the scheme will show the concrete benefits of partnering with democracies. It is widely seen as a counter to Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative, which has been bankrolling construction in developing countries for nearly a decade. For some analysis on the relationship between Taiwan and the G7 nations, we spoke with Pierre Morcos of the Center for Strategic and International Studies, or CSIS, based in Washington, D.C. He says stability in the Taiwan Strait is a major concern for the G7 countries.
Well, I think that it is clear that the members of the G7 have hardened their attitude on the Taiwan Strait question. They believe that the situation in the Indo-Pacific is deeply intertwined with the stability of the Euro-Atlantic area. There is now this concept of one theater, which clearly describes that the security challenges in the Indo-Pacific and in Europe are deeply interconnected. And we have seen that many leaders of the European Union have visited recently the Indo-Pacific, and in each visit, they have clearly stated that the stability of the Taiwan Strait is critical, including for Europeans. So I think that the communique of the G7 will clearly demonstrate this shared concern that China might take advantage of the war in Ukraine to take action against Taiwan.
Taiwan has thanked the foreign minister of the Pacific nation of Tuvalu for standing in solidarity with Taiwan and refusing to attend a UN conference over pressure from China. Tuvalu is one of Taiwan's official allies. Its delegation to this week's UN Ocean Conference in Portugal included 3 Taiwanese members, but China is on the Credentials Committee. It reportedly said the Taiwanese delegates had to be removed or the credentials of the whole Tuvalu delegation would be revoked. Tuvalu Foreign Minister Simon Kofe decided not to attend along with the Taiwanese delegates to show solidarity. The Ocean Conference is particularly significant for Tuvalu, an island nation whose very existence is threatened by rising sea levels. Beijing criticized Taiwan's attempts to get into the conference. Taiwan's foreign ministry on Tuesday accused Beijing of bullying.
外交部强调，中国任意施压会员国的行为，只是再次显露了他们的恶劣本质。我国政府将持续与友邦以及理念相近国家合作，共同反制中国在联合国不断扩张的恶意影响力。
Taiwan's longest sea bridge is nearing completion. Work on the Kinmen Bridge began in 2013. The 5.4-kilometer span will connect Greater Kinmen with Liao Island, also known as Lesser Kinmen. Costing over $200 million, the bridge will cut travel time between the 2 islands in half to just 10 minutes.
在7月的中下旬就全部这个结块都吊上来，我们就是整个桥梁合拢，包括一些交控还有景观预计在10月中旬可以完工通车。
In Taiwan sports news, the Taipei Fubang Braves clinched the Plus League championship for the 2nd year in a row on Monday night.
2022 Plus League 年度总冠军，台北富邦勇士队。
The Braves beat the Hsinchu Jayco Lioneers in Game 5 of the best-of-7 series. The team had already won the title in the league's inaugural season last year. Braves forward Mike Singletary set a new Plus League record for most points scored in a finals game with 43 and was named FMVP for the 2nd year in a row. Did you know the markings on the head of every sea turtle are unique, just like each person's fingerprints? Taiwan is now identifying turtles through these markings and encouraging people to give them names. Louise Want reports.
These endangered turtles were filmed by wildlife photographers in waters off the small Taiwanese island of Xiaoliuqiu. Looking at the images later, environmentalists identified 15 turtles through distinct patterns on their heads and faces. They found the markings as unique as people's fingerprints. Sea turtles live in open waters and along coasts and face risks including habitat destruction and climate change. To promote their conservation, a Taiwan Marine Science Museum is inviting people to name the turtles. There will also be a similar project in Green Island off Taiwan's east coast, and that was kicked off by members of the local community.
已经有记录到4只海龟，而且分别命名，也会把这些成果画成教案，提供给岛上的国中小学教育使用。
Taiwan hopes that naming turtles will be the first step in encouraging their survival. Karma Xu and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of buildings and art installations in Denmark's capital city, Copenhagen, decorated in yellow to celebrate the start of the Tour de France. I'm Leslie Liao. Take care and see you next time.